Hello guys, it's Chunks. We're here doing another Beyblade discussion, this time on the Rare Bey Get Battle problem. So initially I was going to make this kind of a generalized gacha video, and I'm still going to talk about some of that stuff, but I think focusing on the Rare Bey Get Battle itself makes the most sense here. So, I've already talked about gacha before, mainly with random boosters, and kind of this problem that we've been in. Beyblade X seems to really want to push gacha, whether it be in the normal products, with again, random products, or with the new, not really new, but the Rare Bey Get Battle, which we've had since Burst, but they're putting a much bigger emphasis on it in this gen, it seems. Looking at random boosters, you can kind of tell that there's a pretty big problem. We started, getting random boosters in September of 2023, and, well, getting to this September, a year later, we already have 4 random boosters and then 5 random booster selects. Only 3 of those are out right now, but we are getting 2 of them actually in September of 2024. So 9 random products in the main line in about a year. That's ridiculous. And we're also apparently getting Random Booster Volume 5 in December. A little bit of a break, nothing in October or November apparently, which is the first time we've had back-to-back months with no random products since the start of Beyblade X with July and August, literally the very start. The fact that we're getting back-to-back months after all this time, and it seems like a good thing, but at the same time it's like, oh wait, this was normal back in Burst, which I already thought had too many random products, but yeah. So, random boosters are their own problem, but I already made 2 separate videos on that, so I don't want to make a third, unless it feels very necessary, and if it does, it'll probably be a while. Let's move on to the Rare Bey Get Battle, the main topic of this video. So there's an app in Japan, a Beyblade X app, which you can only download in Japan and I believe a couple other Asian countries. And this app, the main thing is that you can scan QR codes and basically get points, play this game, and have a very small chance of winning a prize. So as far as the current prizes go, I have I have 4 of them on screen right now that are just kind of sitting there. I think there's some new ones that just came out, but I mean they literally just came out. Yeah, we of course had the initial ones, of course, when the app first launched in September 2023. This apparently got delayed as well, so these were supposed to be out earlier, but again, got delayed till September of last year. But the ones it launched with were Cobalt Drake and the Golden Hell Scythe. And then we get to 2024. In February, we got the Gold Leon Claw, and then in May, we got the Black and Green Hell's Chain. And then in July, which again, I don't have any of the stuff yet because it just came out, we of course have Aero Pegasus, and we have some bits, like a set of bits you can win, and also a few different like sticker sheets, which is something. And also for August, it looks like we are going to have a Black Dronzer in the Rare Bey Get Battle. So there's already, the app hasn't even been out a full year yet, and we already have 6 entire bays in this thing to win. That's ridiculous. Now, some of these aren't as hard to win. It seems like there's tiers. I think these stickers and bits seem to be quite easy, although they've only been out like a day or 2, so it's hard to say for sure. A lot of the other bays, like the recolors, again, like the Hell Scythe, Hell's Chain, Leon Claw, and likely Black Dronzer, they are... I mean, they're harder to win, but they're not that hard to win. Realistically, you'll probably win at least one of these, if not more. And then there's Cobalt Drake and Aero Pegasus. These things are an absolute pain to try and win. They're very unlikely to win. It's difficult to do. Very low odds. And also, what makes this worse is these bays are getting cycled out. They're not just staying on the app. You don't have chances to win all these over time. They're getting cycled out, and the fact that, again, it hasn't been out for a year and some of these bays are already gone really doesn't bode well. And my problem is the future of this. I really am worried about kind of this model that I'm starting to get a picture of. 2023 is one thing, and the app got delayed, it just came out, but 2024 I think has really painted a picture here. So when you factor in that the app was supposed to launch in July of last year with Cobalt Drake, and got delayed to September, but now Aero Pegasus came out in July this year. My assumption is that every July, or roughly around there, there's probably going to be a new annual Rare Bey Get Battle prize that is going to be, a unique motif, a brand new blade, likely a reused ratchet and bit, but still a brand new motif / blade. Again, we saw it with Cobalt Drake last year, and now we're seeing that with Rare Pegasus this year. Next year, it's very likely that we'll have a CX Bay as our prize for 2025. Again, likely July. It seems like it's going to be an annual thing. Now, will there be more, bits and stickers? Who knows? But I think these are mainly being added just to kind of, in a way, lower the odds of the other prizes. So if you hit on a prize, it's more likely going to be one of these. Might make the other base harder to get. Again, don't know that for sure, but it could just be filler being added to try and, just make the rates a bit worse, which would be really annoying if that's the case. Although if they are extras, again, why bits and stickers? Even if they don't harm anything, it just seems kind of stupid to have these here, I'm not going to lie, so I don't particularly like them, but I guess they're here. And now the big thing I'll talk about is actually, it's not even the rarest base, because at least those are once a year. It's kind of similar to what we had in Burst, although having other stuff here makes this more annoying, but it really comes down to these other bays. So again, we launched with Hell Scythe. Okay, sure. Makes sense to launch with one of these bays. Okay, it was an easier one to get. But then we have to February with the Liankala. Okay, another one to get. Again, easier, kind of on par with Hell Scythe. And then May is Hell's Chain. August, Black Drawns. Why is this important? Why am I pointing out the dates here? If you noticed, February to May, there's a 3-month gap. May to August is also a 3-month gap. I think it's very likely that we're going to see seasonal Rare Bey Get Battle days. Again, this is very early, there's only 3, so it's hard to make a proper pattern out of this, but again, considering they are properly spaced, it's very likely, and I'm just going to make my bets right now, there's going to be a November Bay, a November Rare Bey Get Battle Bay, probably a recolor of sorts. Decent chance of it being like a Cobalt Dragoon, maybe in like Cobalt Drake colors or something. Or it could be anything else, it doesn't have to be, Cobalt Dragoon, but just another Rare Bey Get Battle that won't be overly hard to win, but just another recolor to have there that's going to be, at least kind of difficult to win in some ways. And that's kind of my problem, is that not only do we have to worry about these annual prizes, but like having to get these seasonally, just constantly adding new stuff to it, it's kind of obnoxious. You can argue that maybe it's cool if you get the products, you scan them in, you have a chance to like win an extra one, which, okay, cool, if you're in Japan, maybe that's not as bad. It's still kind of annoying to try and win these things, but still, if you're overseas, it's not fun to mess with because you also have to pay shipping. But even then, I'm pretty sure you have to pay for these in Japan, too. I think Cobalt Drake and Arrow Pegasus are both free, but I think the other recolors you have to pay for, which is really stupid. There's a lot behind a gacha wall. You have to pay for them. That's ridiculous to me. But yeah, I think that this year has kind of showed us that model that they want to have, again, seemingly, again, not confirmed, but seemingly one per season. Now, you can also bring up the argument of the leaked lists, because we usually get like leaked product lists in advance, and there was no BXG or BX00 Bay for November, which would make sense. There is one for December, but I don't think that's going to be it. But one thing I do want to note is that there has never been a BX00 release on the leaked product lists, unless it was a remake. So the December one's probably that, but for November, even though there's no leak, it still has a good chance of happening, because again, historically, these are just not things that get leaked in those lists. So again, come October, there's a good chance we're going to see another one of these announced, for Rare Bey Get Battle prize. I think that's very likely. I want to talk about this now just because, again, I think that it will happen. So overall, yeah, I mean, gacha in general has been a big problem for Beyblade, and the random boosters have been awful. But I think the Rare Bey Get Battle is something that I wanted to talk about, because I kind of avoided this one for those first two discussions, and I think, yeah, it's important to just talk about how they're kind of just adding these gacha things seasonal that you seemingly still have to pay for anyway, so like, you're not really winning a free bay, so that's annoying. And there is a seemingly annual bay that you can win for free, but it's very hard to win. Of course, the aftermarket on these things, the aftermarket on the recolors isn't horrible, but the aftermarket on like the big ones like Cobalt Drake or Arrow Pegasus are abhorrent. So very, very unfortunate. Yeah, I really, really hate these things. So I like having my Rare Bey Get Battle collection, and they're definitely putting that to the test on how much I want to have a full one, so they're adding a lot to it. So I'll try and keep up with it, but if they keep adding too many, if it gets even more than this, then I'll probably stop. But yeah, for now, let me know what you think about the Rare Bey Get Battle. Do you think it's a decent way to get some extra recolors out, or just some special recolors or whatever? Or are you on my side and don't like it at all and just wish that they would stop with the gacha? Because again, random products are already bad enough. We don't need a whole secondary gacha thing. It's really frustrating, but yeah. Anyways, that's all for this video, so thanks for watching, and bye-bye.